education is a fundamental force towards changing the social economic disparities that occur. I also want to say that education is one of the sustainable development goals. The vision, the global goal number 4, to focus on the access to education. Looking at the economic status of this country, it's also very imperative to note that there is a big gap between the rich and the poor. And that means that the poverty rates are very high. As the Form 1's report to school, of course, the public school sector is majorly financed by the government because of the government policy of at least 100% transition from primary level to high school. We wish to note that there is a lot of complaints from parents, particularly when it comes to the cost. We say in most of the public day schools, the government has basically increased capitation and reduced that inequality in terms of the cost of education. But again, there is a lot of associated costs when it comes to, taking our young boys and girls to school. Particularly the buying of uniforms is still very high, considering the VAT and, of course, the textbooks. Getting these textbooks very high because the suppliers and actually because of the taxation policy that we have as a country as of now, it made actually education quite expensive. Still, in most of the public secondary schools, the government has not come up with an intervention to reduce the cost of tuition fee. Of course, there is still the charging of the tuition fees and also the bonding fees, which is not basically ogling very well. And this will actually reduce the number of Kenyans receiving or accessing education. This is something that we need to look at. Particularly now, the government must prioritize, more increment and interventions towards making education cheaper. Perhaps increase bursary allocations and also establish other mechanisms like scholarships that will make sure that as many Kenyans access education as possible. Basically to achieve the goal of increased workforce in terms of skilled workforce going forward. Of course, we are a third world country and we expect this. But just to recognize the endeavors made by the government institutions, particularly the Ministry of Education and also Parliament in allocation of, more capitation in the Ministry of Education.
Yes.